Hey, and welcome to a holiday edition of What's Next with Joey McGuire. I'm Robert Giovanetti. Coach, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
That's you've given a lot of Red Raider fans an early Christmas present with the Big 12 championship, and now we know we're playing Oregon in the Orange Bowl, and that'll be on New Year's. Man,
I'll take that for Christmas. I'll take an Orange Bowl trophy for Christmas.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
They sent a big box of oranges to our office yesterday,
No.
and so they're ready. They're ready to have
oranges and T-shirts. Our guys this morning after practice got a bunch of Orange Bowl T-shirts.
Did they get an orange too?
They got an orange too.
That's great.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with an orange. You know, besides what's going on, what a great time at Texas Tech, right? When you look at you guys are the 4th seed in the CFP. Grant, what a huge win!
Oh, that was
for the
awesome.
Red Raiders in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, it was awesome. He just continues. Whenever his back's against the wall is almost whenever his guys play the best, and they're banged up. I mean, that's the one thing with them. They're a really, really good team. We just don't know how good they are yet because they just haven't been healthy. But I know he'll get them to play at such a high level, and playing in that game was awesome.
You know, he sometimes their team reminds me of your team, that you can never count them out.
Yeah.
Right? They're just tough, gritty, just keep coming back. And even down 17, you just feel like they still have it. Grant's going to will this team back into the game.
Yeah, I mean, it says a lot about his coaching staff, too. He's got a really strong coaching staff. They're all on the same page, really strong culture, and you could see that, that happen.
Meanwhile, on Sunday, the Lady Raiders, who are undefeated, win in Waco. What a huge win for Coach Gurley.
That is a tough place to win, men and women's basketball. And for her to break the losing streak we've had against Baylor is awesome. And it was really cool. I got to see really the last 2 minutes of the Duke game, see us come back. And then we get off the practice field. And I knew they were on. Presley and I had actually talked about, hey, they're starting at 3. We should be able to get to see a little bit of it after practice. And we get off the practice field, and I basically get to see the last 2 minutes. And
that's crazy.
Man, just go nuts, man. I'm really happy for her. 14-0, 1-0 in conference, and man, just what a confidence builder.
Hey, how about on New Year's Eve? We're going to have a lot of Red Raiders in Miami.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a lot here, and Coach and her team have a Big 12 home opener against UCF. It'd be good to have a huge crowd there on New Year's Eve and then celebrate the next day with the Red Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not going to be in Miami, then be in Lubbock, Texas, and watch the Lady Raiders take on UCF. And where they hadn't even got to our spring sports, to where such a strong coaching staff and in every single sport. I mean, get the opportunity to defend our Big 12 tennis title.
Right.
Got the opportunity to defend our men and women's indoor track title and outdoor track title. I know Tadlock can't wait to get back on to the baseball field, and then I don't want to miss any sport, but shoot, we may have the best softball team.
Yeah.
Maybe in the history of softball. We'll see when it's all said and done.
I think this is going to rival the 27 Yankees. This softball team is loaded.
And then I know Sands, and our women's golf team and men's golf team, they're always strong.
Yeah.
So it's a great time to be a Red Raider.
Man, it's just, again, to have men's and women's basketball ranked, football ranked, it's here in December. That's just amazing stuff, and I hope our fans are enjoying it, right? Sometimes you don't realize that, man, these are the great times in our history happening right now.
Yeah, and it's exciting. I know I do feel that our fans are enjoying this, that are really appreciating this. Just different people that I've talked to. I've gotten so many messages and so many letters, emails, just on and on. I know you have too. So, and I really appreciate that, and we just want to keep it going.
All right, so Oregon beats JMU. Your thoughts from watching that game?
Oregon is a really talented team, very well coached. I've said over and over, I said it whenever we played them my second year, how much appreciation I have for Dan Lanning. And I really appreciate, the way they play. It shows how strong they are culturally. It's almost like looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
Like they're really good in the defensive line. So are we. They've got explosive receivers. So do we. They've got really good running backs. So do we. So it's like, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to what football comes down to: who can execute the best and who's going to win the turnover battle.
Coach Lanning has taken a page from your book talking about how the playoffs should look.
Yeah.
1 week to the next week to this long gap. So the two of you agree on that.
Well, I really think whenever we get out of our own way, and what I mean by that is, like, there's this, we're so locked in to what football was, the traditions, even camp. I've talked about that it's too long. The whole reason that all this happened is because what it used to be, and that's not what it is anymore. It should, you didn't have playoffs. You basically had a consensus of who was the national champion, and then you had the BCS, and then you had the 4-team college football playoffs. Now you have 12. It's going to grow. We've got to get away from what we've always done, because what we've always done does not fit in what college football is right now.
That's how the NCAA got in this situation in the first place. The NCAA is that they didn't adapt with the times.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you have to catch up in a hurry. And it looks like college football specifically is in that same kind of mode.
We are. If you look at one, if you look at all the sports, the one that is the most, I don't want to say screwed up, but the maybe broken or the most like stuck in their ways is college football by far, because the NCAA is adapted when it comes to the March Madness.
Yep.
The NCAA is adapted whenever it comes to every other sport, baseball, and the way they do the regionals and the super regionals. I mean, there's been how we've adapted. We have not adapted in college football whenever it comes to the scheduling, the calendar.
What do you think that is? Why hasn't college football changed?
I think because, they're the most tradition-rich. The bowls have been so ingrained. That has been so important. And they can be. They could be extremely important. Just start the year with them.
Right.
If you really want to bring the bowls back and have some really impact as far as like people showing up, you could have some great matchups where the fan is the hungriest, and that is the beginning of the year, the first week. And then you get to this point, you're just focused on the playoffs, especially if they expand.
We appreciate the bowls where we've been the last couple of years. They've been great. The communities are great. It's important for the community and everyone. But watching the last couple of days, some college bowl games, there's not a lot of people there.
That's the thing. Like, it doesn't have anything to do with what the bowls are doing.
Right.
It's more how football's evolved. The other thing that we're missing is, I promise you, there were opt-outs of teams that knew that they were going to have some of their star players opt out of those bowls.
Yeah.
So then it changes the team that's playing in that bowl. We went through that a little bit last year. It was still good for us as some young guys to really grow, but it's different. So those bowls look a lot different, where if they moved them to the front of the season, everybody's playing in those bowl games. You have a full group. So I think that's one reason that the attendance is down maybe on some of those bowl games and everything. And I bet some of the viewership is because you do have opt-outs, like if you've got a player that's got a chance to be a first or second round draft pick. I mean, I understand where the players come from.
Sure.
It hadn't bothered me one bit of when we had guys opt out of the bowl, but if you want to increase viewership and attendance, you put that at the first of the year.
Yeah, sometimes there's no reason to risk yourself and name a bowl, don't want to name a bowl, and when you're looking at your long-term career. Anyway, it's interesting. I love the idea of the bowl games at the beginning of the season. Coach Lanning seems to be on board with that. Anything surprised you from the early games that we saw last weekend?
Okay, this is a funny Ha ha.
Let's hear it.
Everybody wants to dog us out on the wind in West Texas.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
I've been here 4 years, and I hadn't played in a game yet that comes close to the win that happened in College Station, right? Like that game, incredible game, man. I loved watching that game. Two great defenses, man. They went at each other. What a great environment. I love Dan Lanning's. You know, he talked also about that this should be a home game for
sure.
us,
Yeah,
which it should be. But man, the weather. You know, the weather last year affected teams because it was so cold, because you had so many games being played in the north and northeast.
There was some snow even last year.
You know, this weather was affected by the wind that happened in College Station, you know, and the kickers were really affected, and it was a low-scoring game. That was a great game. You know, the night before, I loved, you know, the comeback by Alabama. Just watching that team. Both teams played really well. OU's defense is really good. You know, that was something. And then, you know, again, I just get myself in trouble. Debbie says I can't help myself, but, you know, the question was asked about the G6, and that's another thing I think that can evolve, you know, and it's no criticism whatsoever about any G6 team. I thought that JMU played great in the second half, but I would have liked to see BYU play Oregon, you know, and then I would have liked to see Notre Dame play, you know, at Ole Miss. I think those are games that again, people really want to see, and not to say that people didn't want to see Tulane, but you'd seen that game before.
You'd seen it, yeah, and with a similar outcome. I think they can play their way in, right? They just have to play tougher non-conference schedules and build their resumes up. But, yeah, you're right. The fact that BYU and Notre Dame sat at home, it's unfortunate.
You know, another one, somebody brought it up this morning. I mean, I would have loved to see, and talking about viewership, Vandy at Oregon, and seeing, you know, that team had an absolutely incredible year. You know, to be able to see them, you know, play in that. And I know the playoffs are going to expand, so you can say, well, that takes care of that. But you still, at the end of the day, it's comparing apples to apples. And the criteria of getting in and everything like that, I think it needs to be across the board, you know. And I'm not going to bring up the other one because I've already had enough of that, you know. But, I mean, everybody should be on the same playing field.
Yeah, you have to – there needs to be uniformity on conference championship games, conference schedules, how conferences – that's maybe the key word and all that moves on. It really makes you appreciate KP too, Kenny Perry, our special teams coach, because you saw the Oklahoma game, I think, really turned on a special teams snafu, and then the misses in the Miami A&M game, and you know, KP's got our special teams buttoned up.
Yeah, we're playing really well right now. Depending on what analytics you look at, we're the number one special teams unit in the country. It's funny. We have of course, a group text of all the coaches, and GAs, and a couple of strength coaches are on there, and it's just to keep up with our daily schedule and everything. And Kenny was like counting down 10, like he put in the text 10, 9, 8, because he knew what was coming. You know, our plan to win, number 4, is be special on special teams. And as soon as they blocked that punt, I sent out, but he beat me to it. He was counting down. And then at the same time, I sent out number 4. And, you know, everybody's laughing because, you know, KP was like, all right, here it comes. Our head coach is fixed to comment on special teams.
It is pretty amazing when you look at where we are ranked special teams, offensively, defensively. This is a pretty complete team. And again, we'll find out on January 1st, right?
No doubt.
That now you're in the big boys. There's 8 teams left, and it's really fun to be a part of this.
It is, man. It's exciting. I sent a text to Dusty Kirby and Mike Wallace of like just the picture of the other day where it had the bracket, you know, and it's on ESPN, and they're talking about the games, and man, you see that double T logo, man.
Yeah, love it. Yeah.
It's really cool to be a part of.
I texted Jonathan Boutros, I said it's kind of surreal to see us like in the winner plays Texas Tech.
Yeah.
That's it's a fun place to be. All right, so wrapping up, you guys are practicing to get the guys getting a little break for Christmas?
They are. So we practiced this morning, and we finished it at 8, and so they're off the 24th, 25th. We'll practice again on the 26th, walk through, be back in pads on the 27th, 28th, and travel on the 29th, do a walk through the 29th, walk through the 30th, and our Fast Friday the day before the game, and let her rip.
All right, let's let her rip. What's your favorite Christmas movie? You're a movie guy.
Man, I love Christmas Vacation. We'll
that's a fun one. Yes,
that's always one of my favorite. And then Elf. That's always those two. But Christmas Vacation is probably my favorite.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Have you ever seen the movie It's a Wonderful Life?
Many times.
So that town, Bedford Falls, is based on my hometown of Seneca Falls, New York.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Frank Capra, who wrote the movie, went there, stopped there to get a haircut, was walking around and said, hey, this would be a great little scene for that. So that's my hometown's claim to fame.
That's cool.
Yeah, so anyway, Christmas Carol, you got a Christmas Carol you like?
Just Jingle Bells, probably. Well, I walked into we were going to practice yesterday, and I walked into the weight room, walking through to the indoor, and they had the Christmas carol, they had the Christmas music cranked up. I was cracking up. I said, we got a really good lift, a white Christmas and everything like that.
I just didn't expect you to say Jingle Bells.
Something simple, maybe Rudolph the Red-Nosed
Reindeer. Yeah, don't
Reindeer.
trick them up, right? Play the hits.
Yeah.
I do know a gift that Debbie's family is going to get. We don't want to spoil it here in case they watch this show, but she's working on something for her family. So looking forward to.
You know more than I do.
Yeah, she needed our help on something. So
awesome.
Looking forward to that. So hopefully that you and you get to see Reagan and Joe. They'll come to the
game, and we'll do Christmas afterwards. We were able to do Christmas with my parents last weekend, and on Christmas Day, Garrett and Tara come hang out.
Yeah. You've turned Joe, Reagan's husband, into a true Red Raider. That guy gets into it as much as anybody.
I mean, he'll text me about Level show. Like, he'll be going, Level just said this. I didn't know that. And I was like, I didn't know that either, Joe. I think Level makes stuff up.
Yeah, I think Level tries to make himself relevant. But Joe is like, if you get him on the sideline in a big moment, he'll crush you too.
He's fired up. And, it was awesome because he's a big UFC fan.
Yeah.
That's what he kind of came into the family. And he got Debbie into that, which is interesting to watch with her. I've always been a big fan, but he was casual football fan, and he's become a diehard.
Does he watch What's Next?
He watches What's Next. He watches,
okay.
And then he listens to Level all the time.
Make sure he wasn't just listening to one and not leaving ours out. So anyway, hopefully, Merry Christmas to all the McGuires. Merry Christmas to all our Texas Tech faithful out there. Can't wait to see a bunch of them in Miami. I think we plan on doing one of these from the beach in Miami. How about that?
That's awesome, man.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that. But Dowdy just makes stuff
Dowdy
up.
is over there. Dowdy's over there writing up a plan right now. And Dowdy, did I remember everything today I was supposed to talk about? Yeah, he gave us thumbs up. So Merry Christmas to all of you. For Joe McGuire, Robert Giovanetti, been What's Next? Wreck 'em.